What is poppin', fam? Spanik here, the coach of your New York Rangers, and the long-awaited rematch is finally here. We are taking on Dark Devil 26, aka Brendan, aka the commish of the IBL, and his Trenton Thundurus, which I think is a very, very stellar team name. It's better than his other team name. He knows this. He knows I have an affinity for minor league baseball team names. My former team name was a minor league baseball team name. Shouts to the Reno Acerola. Anyway, we are here. We are under a new franchise name, the New York Rangers. And very long awaited rematch against Brendan. We played in ICBA Season 1, where we won 2-0 on the heels of Faramosa just completely smashing him. But this is a new league with new teams and a completely new meta game. Anyway, let us see what we tried to bring here to try to combat Brendan. We decided to bring a more offensive Yuxi this week. I'm not doing so well with the team I took over, so I figure let's change things up a bit. Let's see if we could maybe pull a win that way. So I'm bringing a more offensive Yuxi, trying to utilize Yuxi's good speed, and also he could have brought Buzzwole, which Yuxi actually outspeeds. So I have enough speed to outspeed a max speed Buzzwole with Psychic, Giga Drain, U-turn, and Rocks. Because Rocks up against his team is really, really nice. Especially with the Zard X. That's a Zard X, by the way. Especially could get some nice damage on the Zard X. And I know he loves bulky Zard X. He's brought that many times this season. So hopefully it could neutralize any bulky Zard X shenanigans. We have also a sub-nasty plot Naganadel. Because I figure I had massive 4-slot syndrome with Naganadel. Like, I needed Fire Blast, otherwise I'm walled by Registeel. And I needed Sludge Wave, otherwise Feeney just beats me. So why not just run those two and forget the Dragon Stab altogether? With Sub and Nasty Plot. It's a very good set against this team. But the one downside is this Mon right here, Quagsire. Because when I was prepping, I completely skipped over that Mon. Because I guess it's because he hasn't brought it all season. So I figured he may not bring it, but he brought it here. So, like, when prepping, I kind of thought he didn't have it. I just happened to check the doc before the game started, thinking, wait, did he bring an illegal Mon? Let me see. Because I actually thought he brought an illegal Mon. I completely missed it in prepping. So I looked, it was there. So, yeah, he didn't bring an illegal Mon. It's a legal Mon on his team, but it was just very peculiar. He didn't bring it all season, so I was a little dumbfounded by seeing Quag right there. And it came back to bite me. I guess that's what happened when you try to listen to Eminem's new album while prepping. I actually did. While I made this team, I actually was listening to Eminem's new album. So, and then we have a Persian here, which is just built to take on the Zardex. We have, for his fur coat, I actually do live a +1 Flare Blitz. So, because Persian's a fat cat. That's why I named it Garfield. Embor, which I thought was going to completely run through his team, but then the Quag is just sitting there saying, hey, what's good? And I kind of regret the set I brought now, because I brought Bulk Up, Sucker Punch, Flare Blitz, and Wild Charge. I wanted to bring HP Ice E-Belt instead of Bulk Up, but I decided against it, because I figured Gliscor was going to be the switch-in, not like Feeney or something, but I don't know why I just thought running Bulk Up was a good idea, because he could have brought because he didn't bring his Weavile. That's kind of why the Bulk Up idea kind of bit me in the ass. But anyway, but that Quag right there just ruins everything, though. I know Embor does get Grass Knot, but HP Ice would be better for like something like Gliscor. We have a Cancer Clefable set with the Cosmic Power, Stored Power, Fire Blast, and Soft Boiled with a Life Orb. And we have SD Fairy MZ Mimikyu without Woodhammer. Because, like I said, I didn't see the Quag, and Play Rough would have nuked the Feeney. So, I do have Giga Drain on my Yuxi, but it wasn't even meant for the Quag. It was more meant for the Feeney. It was more meant to hit the Feeney harder. So, also to be able to get some HP back with the offensive variant. So anyway, that's his team. This is my team, and I didn't see this monster right here. And it will come back to bite me. You'll see in the game how it comes back to bite me massively. And especially not having Toxic on anything also came back to bite me. So let's see how this battle played out. I know it's going to be a little long before the battle actually starts because that's just how the recording went. Shout out to Joseph Games, my partner in crime from IBL, what was it called? Draft recap, weekly recaps last season. Shout out to him for recording this battle. Because I don't have a cap card and don't plan to get one anytime soon. Anyway, let's see if we could nab a win here against Dark Devil 26 once again. And now the battle is finally beginning. Brendan is issuing that challenge, which may or may not be the biggest mistake of his life. So he leads out with the Feeny, which is a very, very, very nice lead on his end. And you're going to see why soon. I decided to leave with my Yuxi. Figure it's the best way to scout for whatever set he brings. He goes to the Misty, gets the Misty Surge up, which means I can't Toxic him, which is okay. Because I don't have Toxic on this anyway. I go for my Rocks here. Because I figure his Rocks would be really, really nice against him. And it kind of pressures the Feeny to defog. As he just fires off a Hydro, which is alright with me, but that does a metric ton of damage, which makes you think he's more of an offensive variant of Feeny, which makes sense given the team he brought, because he has brought offensive Feeny in the past, and his team he brought is more bulky, so he needs some sort of wall-breaking potential. As now I just go out into my Naganadel here, because I could take any hit from this thing and just fire off Sludge Waves. As he goes for another Hydro, and that actually is able to do over half to my Naganadel, which really, really surprised me. But he has brought Specs Feeny in the past, so I'm really not surprised that he brought it again here. As he does switch out into Registeel, I saw this as an opportunity to get a sub up. And as soon as, I saw this opportunity to get the sub up, I get some Black Sludge recovery, which is nice. And as soon as I saw no lefties here, I knew right off the bat he was Akaberry. So that is why I just decided to fire off a Fire Blast here. I get some necessary damage on this Registeel that I needed. I didn't want a Nasty Bot because an Earthquake would break my sub. As you see here, he does go for the EQ, that will break my sub, and then +2 wouldn't kill through the Akka anyway. So I really needed to pop this thing's Akaberry, but I'd rather it be Akaberry than Leftovers, because now my Mimikyu could just beat it 1v1. As now I will get more Black Sludge recovery, another Earthquake will definitely kill me, so I opt to switch out here into my Yuxi just to pivot around. As he actually makes the nice read here and goes for Iron Head instead of EQ, predicting my Yuxi to come in. As now the mist goes away, I don't have Toxic on this Yuxi, so it really doesn't matter what he does here. He stays in on my U-turn, which is alright, I guess, as now I just go to my Emboar here, because it could scare this thing out. He's not going to go for EQ on a Yuxi, so he does just go for the Iron Head here. Now, without his Akka, Flare Blitz will definitely kill. So he opts to switch. So I actually pull a double here into my Yuxi, predicting the Quag to come in. As he does switch out his Registeel into the Quagsire, which I figured was going to be his switch into Emboar. And now I just decide to reveal the Giga Drain tech here, because I legit have no reason not to. As I do reveal the Giga Drain here, and it does a boatload to this Quag. It doesn't exactly kill, because Quag is a bulky boy, but I do get some nice HP back, though. As he does fire off a Scald, and it's going to do very, very, very nice damage. As he does get the burn on me, that's alright, because I'm a special variant anyway. I'd rather be burned than toxicked. So he's going to obviously switch here, because he still needs this. He definitely still needs this game. So he opts to pull a switch here into his Gliscor. As I just straight up fire off a Psychic, because I need some damage on this thing. And that reveals he's probably just max HP, as he does get the Toxic Orb, which is alright. So now I decide to pull a switch out here into my Clefable, because I figured this is going to be the fodder I need for the Clefable. As he just defogs. Yeah, my evasiveness falls, but whatever. And I see no reason to not just fire off a Cosmic Power here. There is a reason, but I didn't know what the reason was when playing this game. So he just goes out into the Zard here, and I'm like, okay, this is perfectly fine. Because now I just fire off a Cosmic Power here, and I get to +1 defenses. And now this Zard here, like, it could set up. I could set up alongside the Zard, so it really doesn't matter what he does here. He goes for Dragon Dance, fine. He goes for Flare Blitz, even better, because then he could take recoil damage and I could stall him out, unless he crits me. So he does go for Flare Blitz here, which is going to do a decent amount of damage actually. But it's a Zard X. It does just under half, as I am able to get another Cosmic Power off here. And now I have to soft boiled here. There's no other play, as he does fire off another Flare Blitz, and it's going to still do a decent amount of damage. It won't kill me because I'm +2, but I am able to get the soft boiled off, which is fairly nice. And this is an opportunity where I wish I had Moonblast, because he does reveal to have Roost. I know how much he loves his bulky Zards, so Roost wasn't surprising on here, as I do go for another Cosmic Power. And now, over here, I kind of thought I may have just been able to pull off the sweep, but there is a big, fat problem with that. He goes out into the Quag here, and this is where I decided to run some damage calcs, and I find out that Unaware neutralizes stored power. Like, stored power, it powers up after all the... And this is where I wish I had Moonblast. As now I have to switch after revealing that. Because stored power... I'm going to pause it right here. Because Unaware ignores boosts, right? Yeah, it does. Meaning it also... I actually didn't know this when I played the game. It also ignores stored power. Like, stored power gets more power based on how many boosts you have. But Unaware actually makes stored power neutral. I didn't know that when playing the game. I thought my boost stayed no matter what. If they did stay, this was a dead Quag. So I had to switch out here. Now that's where the Quag bit me in the ass. Because I actually could have maybe went for the sweep there, but I couldn't because the Quag was down. He goes for Toxic. I don't understand why I was Magic Guard. He didn't know that. As now this Yuxi just completely scares out this Quag, because he needs this. Like, this dies and then my Mimikyu just kind of sweeps him. So he goes out into the Zard here as I go for U-turn, predicting that. Like, the thing is, Yuxi just comes in and scares out the Quag every single time, unless he's at a reasonable range. As now I go into my Naganadel here, because I can still, I didn't reveal all my moves yet. I can still scare him out with a dragon move. As I thought he'd switch out here, but he didn't. I honestly thought he was going to switch out here fearing like a Draco or something. But no, he actually does stay in, which is a good play on his end to not let me get a free sub. As now at that point, I would have just nasty plotted on the... As now at that point, I would have actually just nasty plotted on the Registeel. As now he goes out into the Mew, as I fire off a Fire Blast, predicting the Registeel to come in, which he didn't go. He probably did actually predict me to predict the Registeel. So I do get the burn, which is actually unfortunate, because now that neutralizes my Black Sludge recovery. And Mew's gonna get hurt by the burn, and I figure I really can't use Naganadel at this point, because the Quag is still around too. So I just figure I want damage on the Mew. He actually goes for Fire Blast here, predicting... I don't know what he predicted there. Maybe Scizor? Wait, no, I didn't bring Scizor this week. So I don't know what he predicted there with the Fire Blast. As now I go ahead to my Mimikyu, and I figure this is my opportunity to try to set up, because I scare him out with the Shadow Sneak. As he does switch out here into the Gliscor, which I guess is okay. I do go for Shadow Sneak, though. Why did I go for Shadow Sneak? Okay, I'm actually flabbergasted about my own play there. I don't understand why I went for Shadow Sneak. As now I decide to SD on here. I should have SD'd on the Mew. So that's a big misplay on my end. I should have SD'd on the Mew. As he does go for Fire Fang here, I think he's just trying to baby fish for a burn. As here, I need to throw off my Z move because an Earthquake, because I can't let this Gliscor Rooster free, and the Z player off will actually take him out from this range. So I do reveal the Twinkle Tackle here, and it will take out a Max Fizz Def Gliscor from this range. Maybe I should have saved it from the Quag. I probably actually should have saved it for the Quag because the Quag was a much bigger threat than the Gliscor. Because +2 player off would have still 2 KO'd. But you see, I needed Mimikyu to actually just completely destroy him this game. So yeah, now he goes out into the Quag. He definitely is going to be able to live a player off from this range. Like a neutral player off. I go for it anyway because I knew I have no other play. I need to stall out this. I need to either get a hopefully maybe for crit because this Quag just kind of sits in front of my team and there's really nothing I could do about it. Because Yuxi is very, very weakened. I can't actually switch in Yuxi here fearing a Scald. So I just have to go for player off and hope A, he doesn't Scald Bird me, or B, I crit. I get an attack drop there, which is okay, I guess. As he goes for Scald, I'm hoping for no burn, because I think he's in range of 2. If I don't get a burn, I don't get the burn. He doesn't get the burn, which is actually really, really nice. So I'm thinking he's in range of another player off. But I actually do switch out here for some reason into the Yuxi, thinking now he Earthquakes here if he reveals it. He goes to recover. Why didn't I just play off there? I probably didn't want to test my luck with Scald Burns. That's probably why. So that was another misplay on my end. I should have tested my luck with Scald Burns. Because I needed this Quagsire dead. I honestly needed this Quagsire dead. Now he switches here knowing he needs his Quagsire healthy. As he goes out into Zard. So I'm able to fire off a Psychic here. Getting off very, very, very decent damage. I get a crit, actually. Which is kind of unfortunate for him. As now, I go for another Psychic. I actually do outspeed the Zard. As he goes for the Dragon Dance. Now I won't outspeed the Zard. But I can't let him roost here. You see, over here, I should have kept my Yuxi around. Well, I do live on 1 from the burn. Here, I should have switched out in the Persian. But I should have switched out in the Persian, predicting the roost, because I will be able to live a +1 Flare Blitz. But I actually opt to stay in and sack my Yuxi. I don't really understand why I did that play. I should have went out in the I should have went hard Persian. Because I should have went hard Persian because he had to roost there. So now I go out into my Persian, and I will be able to live a +1 Flare Blitz from the Zard. And Foul Play will be able to take it out. So he goes for, especially at the Flare Blitz recoil, so he goes for Flare Blitz here. I am able to live on a Sliver, and Foul Play is going to be able to take out the Zard here. Which is very, very, very nice for my Persian. Very, very, very nice from my team, because now the Zard is dead. And now he has to go out. Now he goes out into the Feeny and just kind of claims one. And there's really nothing I could do about that. Because I have no switch-ins to this Feeny. I didn't bring my Scizor. So I go for Parting Shot here. To maybe have him get off a weakened hit on something. Yeah, it goes back to me as I go out into my Clefable because it's really useless at this point. Because I can't really sweep with this thing because of the freaking Quagsire. And pretty much the rest of this game is just going to be Quagsire bulking the hell out of my team. As he ends up going for another Moonblast here. So now here I decide to go out into my Emboar. Thinking, okay, he's going to probably switch out here. Maybe I could actually live a Moonblast. Because he's -1. He switches out here into the Quag. And I clicked Wild Charge. I should have clicked Flare Blitz because I needed damage on this Quag. But this game is now just going to be Quag bulking the hell out of my team. As I just fire off Flare Blitz here thinking I need this Quag dead. If this Quag dies, I could just SD with Mimikyu again and sweep him. But he reveals EQ, and that actually is going to take out my Emboar because he EV'd this Quag to take out Naganadel with an Earthquake. Which is actually very good prep on his end. This Quag was just a giant pain in the ass this game, and it's going to actually just bulk the rest of my team. That's really this game. That's really how this game went. I go for Foul Play here. Deal some big ass damage to that Quag as he goes for Scald and actually takes me out. It's actually, from this range, after Leftovers, it's actually going to be a... I figured he might be in playoff range. So I do go out into my Mimikyu, thinking now is the chance. Maybe I could get this Quag dead and be able to redeem. So I go for play rough, and he lives on 1. Are you kidding me? Ugh. And he's able to go for the recover here and just bulk the rest of my team with this thing. Like, that's really how this game went. And just to add insult to injury, I end up missing a play rough right there. That 1 HP had to have been a roll. It honestly had to have been a roll. So now I go for a play rough here, and I'm able to... Yeah, see, that was definitely a roll. I don't understand why he toxicked here. Probably just so if I got the crit, I wouldn't be able to sweep here. I wouldn't be able to sweep late game with the Mimikyu, because I did have Drain Punch on this thing for the Registeel. That's probably why he toxicked me, so it would just seal him the win in case I got a crit. Yeah, that freaking 1 HP was definitely a roll. So now he EQs here, and that will definitely put me in range of toxic damage. As like I said, I completely missed this thing in prep. If I saw this thing in prep, I may have substituted Shadow Sneak for Woodhammer. If I had Woodhammer on this Mimikyu, I probably won this game with Mimikyu, honest. I probably won this game with Mimikyu after I Z Fairy'd the Gliscor. Depending on if maybe Mew could have picked me off because I wouldn't have had Shadow Sneak on it. But so be it. I didn't see the Quag in prep, and that screwed me over for the whole game. So yeah, GG, Brendan. This league isn't going well for me at all. We're 1-5. I still haven't won a game with this freaking team. Naganadel sucks without Z moves. And next week we take on JB and the Colorado Buffalon. So hopefully we could snag a win there. So Hispanic, I'll see you guys next week. Peace.